Jeff, do you think if people are interested in developing a side hustle, is it important to identify the why at the beginning, or does that matter in your opinion? Because some people do it strictly to put food on the table and get extra income every month. Other people do it for more sort of intellectual and sort of heart reasons. Do you think it's important to identify that beforehand?
It's great to think through this. I think the most important thing is we don't have that much time on the planet, and so we can either spend our time watching TV or Netflix or social media, or we could be learning stuff and serving other people. And it feels like it's work, like coaching soccer, as I did through the league your wife was involved in. It might look like work, but I was out on a soccer field playing with, boys and goofing off and reliving being an eighth grader or a sixth grader or a fourth grader. So it's this spare time we have. We have the work we have to do to pay the bills, and then there's another maybe 30 or 40 hours a week available to us. And side hustles don't have to be alone, so we can do that with our kids or with our friends, whatever. So it's just I don't have room in my life for watching stuff. I just realize through life, just well, if I want to do these other things, I just have to cut those out. So I think why matters, and our motivation really matters on a side hustle. And when life throws us curveballs, that side hustle might present itself to us in a way that we didn't expect. But if we're always looking for how do we serve humanity, how do we love our neighbors, something for sure shows up.
Yeah, and I'm guessing the consulting side hustle now, is that paying the bills, to an extent, or is it lucrative financially, Jeff?
I'm no longer overhead, which is kind of cool. So I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, I don't take from the company in order to be part of the company anymore, which is a huge blessing when I think about providing a workplace that can provide bright futures. Is I'm just a guy who has to earn a living, just like I did when I had to build a piece of furniture. So I wouldn't say lucrative, rich, but amazing blessings. Had a guy this week. I was back in Boston today. Guy said, after that conversation, I chose to step down as the COO of this really cool company because this company needs somebody different than me. And I'm like, oh, that's great. So that was our conversation that caused that. I'm like, oh, shoot. I love him enough to tell him the truth. And he asked me a question. And now he's stepping down. So, but I guess the point of all that is if we just go out and find that thing and go after it, I've found abundant, abundant return. It's not very often financial.
Libby, I'd love to talk about your side hustle. Thank you, Jeff. Libby, I think you've talked about on one of our podcasts that you lost your dad to cancer, and one of the side hustles that you do now every year is to organize a fundraiser. And you and Elise are both amazing when it comes to putting on live events. Tell me about that side hustle and how did that come about?
Yeah, it's called Celebrity Stakeout. So it's a steak dinner in August. Typically, I mean, it's always the third Tuesday in August. Um, and it was at Morton's for a long time, and now we've been partnered with John Howie for years. And the gentleman who started it, Brad Brotherton, he owns a few auto dealerships here in the Seattle area, and he has always been very big on giving back to the community. And when his dad was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, he, they didn't know what to do. So he asked us at the time, I was working for a city magazine and he was an advertising partner. And he asked if we could just help him do this event that benefits Fred Hutch because his dad was treated there. Um, and that was in 2010. His father, did pass away the next year, but the event has happened every year since. And when I left the magazine after I had my first son, I still worked with Brad on the event and I still do it every year. And, it is, it is the bulk of it is him. I mean, he has so many great relationships. He knows so many people in the community and he really, um, he does a lot of the legwork, and I do a lot of the logistical and kind of back end parts of it. But um, even when it's really stressful, it's just still feels really good. And it is just so fun. We to date, I believe we've raised over 1.6 million that
Oh
benefits
my
Fred
gosh.
Hutch. And there's really just two of us now that work on it. There is a really great team that helps with the auction back end. But it's really just me helping Brad make it happen. And I don't know that it's ever going to end, but never.
She said with a smile on her face.
Yeah, a big smile. I know, because every year I think maybe this would be better. It could be better served by somebody else. Maybe there's somebody else who has new ideas and new things to bring to the event to make it bigger and better. But when Brad asks me every year, I can't say no because I am just so emotionally tied to the event and the cause. And I think that's another thing about work in general is that even if you really love it, the stressful parts still feel okay. And I'm in the trenches with Brad and with these other folks who are helping. And I think the cause that we're working towards feels totally worth it. So
Libby, it's just so heartwarming to hear that when my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer 5 years ago and we walked into the hutch, our heads were just spinning and our stomachs were sick. We had no idea what was going to happen. And it was such a blessing to have, you get a team assigned to you right when you walk in the door there. And it's probably the best cancer center in the country. And it's here and it benefits all of us. So hard not to get emotional, talking about this. Um, but just know that the work that you're doing has benefited all of us, a lot of us.
yeah,
So keep that up. Yeah.
it is. And I think one of the things we talk about when we talk about Fred Hutch is that they are saving lives and the research that they're doing is going to save millions of lives in the future. But
Yeah.
even for the people who are not going to, survive their diagnosis, Fred Hutch can give them time. And that's
Yeah.
time to be with their families or their friends, just doing the things that make them the happiest and give them a full life. And, that's just so invaluable.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you're not drawing a paycheck, I take it, for all that.
I do I do get a nominal fee. It used to be built into my job, but since I left, I do take a very, very
I'm
small
sure you're
fee.
you're worth every
He
dollar.
he gets the
That's awesome.
steepest discount in the business, so
The friends and family
yeah.
discount. I love it.